Tom was a single father living in a small town. Life had not been easy for him since his wife passed away when his daughter, Mia, was only 2 years old. He worked hard to take care of Mia, making sure she had everything she needed, even if it meant going without some things himself. Every morning, Tom would wake up early, make a cup of strong coffee, and quietly get ready for the day before Mia stirred awake. He wanted to be ready for anything that came their way. Mia was a bright and cheerful girl. She loved drawing, reading, and spending time in the small garden outside their house. Tom often admired her determination. Even at a young age, Mia understood that life was not always easy, but she never complained. Her laughter was the most important sound in Tom's world. It reminded him that all his struggles were worth it. Tom had been working odd jobs for years. Sometimes he repaired cars at a small garage. Other times, he delivered packages in the city. None of these jobs paid enough to cover all the bills, but he had learned to manage with what he had. Still, the mounting bills worried him every day. One morning, while sitting at the kitchen table with a half-finished cup of coffee, he stared at the small pile of overdue bills. The numbers on the paper felt heavy. He sighed and rubbed his tired eyes. It was then that Tom noticed a small advertisement in the local newspaper. The headline read, "Warehouse Night Supervisor Needed, No Experience Required. Pay above minimum wage." Many people in town ignored this advertisement because the job required working night shifts. Night jobs were considered hard and lonely, and very few wanted to do them. But Tom felt something different. He felt hope. This could be the chance he had been waiting for. Tom called the number immediately. A polite voice answered on the other side. After a brief conversation, he was asked to come in for an interview later that day. Tom explained to Mia that he needed to go, and she smiled and wished him luck. Her belief in him gave him courage. He left the house carrying a small backpack with a notebook and a pen. Tom wanted to be prepared for anything. When Tom arrived at the warehouse, he was surprised by its size. The building was enormous, with tall metal racks filled with boxes. The smell of machinery and cardboard filled the air. Forklifts moved quickly in every direction, and workers were busy checking, loading, and unloading packages. The sounds were loud, but Tom felt energized. He knew this was the kind of work that required attention, discipline, and courage. During the interview, the manager, a kind woman named Ms. Harper, asked Tom questions about his experience and work habits. Tom explained that while he had never worked in a warehouse before, he was hard-working, organized, and quick to learn. Ms. Harper studied him carefully. She noticed his calm and confident demeanor, the way he held himself, and the determination in his eyes. After a short pause, she smiled and offered him the position. Tom accepted immediately, feeling a mixture of relief and excitement. His first night at work was challenging. The warehouse was dimly lit, with bright lights only in certain areas where the workers were most active. Tom walked slowly at first, observing everything. He memorized the layout, the position of the boxes, and the routes the forklifts took. He introduced himself to the workers one by one. Most of them were skeptical of the new supervisor, especially someone who had no prior experience. Ben, a tall and grumpy worker, eyed Tom suspiciously. "Hope you can handle this," he said, folding his arms. Tom smiled politely and nodded. He didn't take offense. He knew respect had to be earned, not demanded. Throughout the night, he quietly studied the warehouse operations, made notes in his notebook, and learned quickly. Despite the challenges, he felt a sense of purpose that he had not felt in years. The warehouse work was not easy. It required long hours, focus, and careful attention to detail. Mistakes could cost time, money, or safety. Tom made sure to check every process carefully, asking questions when he did not understand something. The workers started to notice his dedication. Slowly, some of them began to warm up to him. By the end of his first shift, Tom felt exhausted but proud. He knew he had made the right decision. When Tom returned home that morning, the sky was beginning to brighten. Mia was still asleep, and he watched her for a few moments. Her small hand rested on her stuffed toy, and her face was peaceful. Tom felt a wave of gratitude. This job was hard, but it was a step toward a better life for both of them. He realized that sometimes the most difficult paths lead to the greatest rewards. Over the next few days, Tom learned more about the warehouse. He learned how to manage shipments, supervise the workers, and handle unexpected challenges. One night, a large shipment arrived unexpectedly. The workers were worried about finishing it on time, but Tom calmly organized the team. He assigned tasks based on each worker's strengths and worked alongside them. By the morning, the shipment was complete. The workers were impressed. Even Ben, who had doubted Tom, nodded with respect. Tom's determination and work ethic began to change the atmosphere in the warehouse. The team became more organized, the work flowed more smoothly, and even the night shifts felt more manageable. Tom discovered that the job nobody wanted was not just a source of income. It was a chance to make a real difference. He realized that he could not only support his family but also lead and inspire others. At home, Tom shared small moments with Mia whenever he could. They had breakfast together when he returned from night shifts, worked in the garden, or read stories before she went to school. Mia noticed the change in her father. He seemed more confident, happier, and more at peace. She felt proud of him, and that pride gave Tom even more strength. Tom understood that this job would not be easy forever. There would be challenges, nights that felt long and exhausting, and moments when he questioned his decision. But he also knew that he was capable of handling anything. The job nobody wanted had given him something far greater than money. It gave him hope, purpose, and the knowledge that hard work and courage could change lives. That first month went by quickly. Tom gained the respect of his team, became familiar with every part of the warehouse, and even helped improve some of the processes. Each night he returned home, he felt a sense of accomplishment and pride. He had taken a risk, chosen a path that many avoided, and it was already beginning to pay off. Tom realized that sometimes the best decisions in life were the hardest ones to make. As he tucked Mia in one night after a long shift, she hugged him tightly. "I'm proud of you, Dad," she whispered. Tom smiled, feeling a warmth in his heart. He knew that his hard work was not just for survival, but for building a future filled with hope and happiness. For the first time in a long time, he truly believed that everything was going to be okay. After a few weeks on the job, Tom had begun to feel comfortable at the warehouse. He knew the layout, the workers, and the daily routines. Yet, he also realized that every night brought new challenges. Some nights, shipments arrived late. Other nights, machinery broke down. And sometimes, workers disagreed or became frustrated. Tom had to think quickly and find solutions, even when he was tired. One night, a problem arose that Tom had never faced before. A large shipment from another city arrived unexpectedly, and the boxes were mixed up. Some packages were labeled incorrectly, while others were missing paperwork. The workers looked worried and confused. Ben, the tall worker who had been skeptical of Tom from the start, frowned. "This is a mess," he said. "How are we supposed to finish on time?" Tom took a deep breath. He could have panicked, but instead, he calmly gathered the team. He asked each worker to focus on one section, double-check the labels, and sort the packages carefully. He moved among them, helping whenever someone struggled, and explaining what needed to be done. His calm attitude and clear instructions made a difference. Slowly, the team worked together, and the chaos began to disappear. By the time the morning sun began to rise, the shipment was organized, and everything was ready for delivery. The workers were surprised. "I did not think we could finish this," Ben admitted, nodding at Tom. "You really know what you are doing." Tom smiled. He did not want praise. He was happy that the team had worked together and succeeded. That night, he learned that leadership was not about telling people what to do but helping them do their best. The next few weeks brought other challenges. One night, a piece of machinery stopped working. Without it, the workers could not lift heavy boxes. Tom had never repaired a machine like that before, but he remembered a trick he had learned from his old garage job. He studied the machine carefully, checked the wires and the moving parts, and slowly figured out a solution. After an hour, the machine worked again. The workers were amazed. "You fixed it," one of them said. Tom nodded, quietly proud. He realized that even a single skill could make a big difference. Working the night shifts was not easy, but Tom also found unexpected rewards. He got to know the workers better, learning their strengths, habits, and stories. There was Sarah, a quiet woman who loved puzzles and always found mistakes in inventory before anyone else. There was Leo, a young man who sometimes struggled to focus but had a talent for organizing shipments quickly. Tom encouraged each worker to use their strengths, and in return, they began to respect him not just as a supervisor but as someone who cared about them. At home, life continued with its small routines. Mia noticed her father coming home tired, yet happy. She would greet him at the door, hug him tightly, and ask about his night. Tom would smile and tell her small stories, careful not to scare her with the hard parts of the job. He wanted her to know that challenges could be overcome, that courage and patience mattered more than fear. Mia began to understand that her father was not just working to earn money, he was building a better life for both of them. One evening, a bigger problem came. The warehouse received a special order that had to be delivered within hours. It was a critical shipment for a major client, and failure was not an option. The workers were nervous. Some had never dealt with an order this large or urgent. Tom gathered the team and spoke calmly. He explained the process, divided the tasks, and even joined the physical work himself. Hours passed, and the team worked tirelessly under his guidance. By morning, the shipment was complete. The client called later to thank the warehouse for the efficiency. Tom realized something important that night. The job nobody wanted had taught him patience, problem-solving, and leadership. He also realized that people responded to kindness and encouragement more than fear or criticism. The warehouse had become more than a workplace. It was a place where teamwork, trust, and respect grew. Tom felt proud to be part of it. The workers started trusting Tom more. Ben, who had doubted him at first, now came to him for advice. Sarah would ask for his opinion on how to improve organization. Leo often joked with Tom, calling him the man who never sleeps but always solves problems. Tom laughed along, happy that he had earned their respect. For the first time, he felt he was not just surviving, he was leading, teaching, and making a difference. Tom also learned about the power of small gestures. One night, the warehouse heater stopped working, and the building was cold. Tom noticed some workers shivering. He quickly brought blankets from the storage room and offered warm drinks from the vending machine. The workers smiled, and the atmosphere became lighter. Tom realized that caring for others, even in small ways, could improve morale and productivity. At home, Mia noticed the changes in her father. He seemed more confident, less worried about money, and happier despite the hard work. She began drawing pictures for him and leaving them in his backpack for the night shift. Tom found them during breaks and smiled. Those small drawings reminded him of why he worked so hard. They were his motivation, a reason to face every challenge with determination. One weekend, Tom was invited to a team dinner. It was unusual for the night shift, but the manager wanted to celebrate their hard work. Tom felt honored. For the first time, the warehouse team felt like a family. Stories were shared, laughter echoed, and the workers acknowledged Tom's dedication. He realized that the job nobody wanted had become something meaningful. It was no longer just work, it was a place where he was respected, valued, and able to make a difference in people's lives. The more Tom worked, the more he discovered hidden opportunities. He noticed inefficiencies in the warehouse processes and suggested small improvements. Some workers were skeptical at first, but after seeing the results, they started following his ideas. Shipments became faster, mistakes decreased, and even Ms. Harper, the manager, praised his creativity. Tom felt proud. He had taken a risk on a difficult job, and it was paying off in ways he had never imagined. Through all these challenges, Tom never lost sight of Mia. He made sure she always felt loved and cared for. He also shared small lessons with her about responsibility, kindness, and perseverance. Mia began to understand that life was not just about comfort, It was about facing difficulties with courage and using every opportunity to grow. Tom knew that this was one of the most valuable lessons he could give her. By the end of the second month, Tom had fully adjusted to the warehouse life. He knew that nights would still be long and sometimes exhausting. He knew that unexpected problems would arise. But he also knew that he was capable of handling them, and that he could inspire others to do the same. The job nobody wanted had turned into a place of growth, respect, and unexpected rewards. Tom felt grateful for the challenge that had changed his life. Tom had been working at the warehouse for a few months now, and he had grown confident in his role as night supervisor. He knew the workers, the routines, and the challenges that might appear. However, he also knew that life never stopped giving new problems to solve. One quiet evening, just as the shift was about to start, Ms. Harper approached him with a serious look on her face. "Tom," she said, "we have a problem. One of our biggest clients had a last-minute change in their order. They need a large shipment ready in 2 days. If we cannot meet this deadline, it could affect the warehouse's reputation and future contracts." Tom nodded. He could feel the tension in the air. The workers were already busy, and the thought of completing such a large order in a short time felt impossible to many. But Tom did not panic. He knew that worry would not solve the problem. Instead, he called the team together and explained the situation calmly. "We have a challenge ahead of us," he said. "It will not be easy, but if we work together and stay organized, we can finish this order on time. Everyone has a role, and I will be here to help. Let us take it one step at a time." Some workers looked doubtful, but Tom's calm and confident attitude reassured them. Ben, who had become one of Tom's strongest supporters, nodded and said, "If anyone can lead us through this, it is you, Tom." His words brought a small smile to Tom's face. The next day was intense. Tom worked alongside the team, supervising the sorting, labeling, and packing of the large shipment. He noticed that some workers were struggling with fatigue, so he rotated tasks to make sure everyone could take small breaks. He encouraged teamwork, reminding the group that they had faced difficult nights before and succeeded. The warehouse was filled with energy and focus, and slowly, progress was made. Late that night, a new problem arose. One of the forklifts stopped working, leaving a pile of heavy boxes in the middle of the floor. Tom quickly assessed the situation. He knew he could not waste time waiting for repairs. Using a method he had learned from his old garage work, he helped the workers carefully move the boxes manually, taking extra care to ensure no one got hurt. By the morning, the shipment was back on track. Meanwhile, at home, Mia noticed her father coming back even later than usual. She had been trying to help by doing small chores herself, but she also worried about him. "Dad, you are working too hard," she said gently one morning. Tom knelt down and held her hands. "I know it is hard, Mia," he said. "But this job is helping us build a better life. I promise I will always find time for you. You are my reason to keep going." Mia smiled, understanding a little more about her father's responsibilities. She also began to take pride in his work, knowing that he was not just doing a job but also helping people trust and depend on him. Her drawings, small notes, and cheerful presence became his motivation during the long nights. Back at the warehouse, the team faced yet another challenge. Some of the boxes in the urgent shipment were damaged, and the client had strict rules about the condition of each package. Tom quickly organized a small team to inspect every box and replace the damaged items. He also coordinated with the delivery drivers to make sure the schedule remained on track. Despite the pressure, he remained calm and supportive, helping the team focus rather than panic. As the night went on, Tom noticed how much the workers had grown under his guidance. They moved efficiently, helped each other without being asked, and even shared small tips on improving speed and accuracy. Tom realized that leadership was not just about giving orders but about helping people believe in themselves. He felt proud of the team he was building, and he knew that this moment was important not only for the warehouse but also for himself. During a brief break, Tom spoke with Ben. "You have done a great job helping the team," Tom said sincerely. Ben smiled and said, "You taught us that we can handle difficult tasks if we stay calm and work together." I never thought I would enjoy nights like this. Tom laughed quietly. It is not easy, but it is worth it, he replied. By the second morning, the entire shipment was ready for delivery. Ms. Harper arrived to check the progress and was impressed. Tom, you and your team did an incredible job, she said. This is exactly why I trusted you with this responsibility. Tom felt a sense of relief and pride. The warehouse had succeeded, and he had grown as a leader in ways he had never imagined. That night, when Tom returned home, Mia was waiting for him. She jumped into his arms, and he hugged her tightly. We did it, Mia, he said quietly. The warehouse order is complete, and everyone worked together. Mia smiled brightly. I am proud of you, Dad, she said. Tom felt a warmth in his heart. All the hard work, the late nights, and the challenges were worth it. A few days later, Tom discovered another opportunity. While organizing shipments, he noticed that some processes were slow because of poor layout in certain areas of the warehouse. He suggested small changes, like rearranging shelves, improving labeling, and creating clear paths for forklifts. The workers were skeptical at first, but Tom guided them through the changes step by step. Soon, productivity increased, mistakes decreased, and even Ms. Harper praised the improvements. Tom realized that he was not just surviving in this job. He was improving the workplace, helping people succeed, and building a sense of teamwork and trust. The job nobody wanted had become a place of learning, growth, and unexpected opportunities. He felt proud not only of himself but of the entire team. Outside the warehouse, life at home also changed. Mia began to help more with small responsibilities, learning from her father about discipline and patience. She also started to notice the positive impact of his hard work on their lives. Their small house felt warmer, brighter, and filled with hope. Tom often reminded himself that every late night, every challenge, and every moment of fatigue was a step toward a better future for both of them. One evening, after finishing his shift, Tom decided to take a short walk with Mia before bed. They walked through the quiet streets of the town, talking about the day, their dreams, and small plans for the weekend. Mia held his hand tightly, and Tom felt a deep sense of gratitude. He realized that even though the job was difficult, it had brought stability, purpose, and unexpected happiness into their lives. Tom understood that life was not about avoiding challenges. It was about facing them with courage, patience, and determination. The warehouse job, the one nobody wanted, had given him a new sense of purpose. It had shown him that hard work, kindness, and leadership could change lives. Not just his own life, but the lives of others as well. By the end of the month, Tom had earned the respect of everyone at the warehouse. He had faced unexpected crises, solved problems creatively, and built a strong, motivated team. More importantly, he had discovered the power of perseverance and teamwork. The job nobody wanted had transformed into a place where he could grow, lead, and make a difference. As he tucked Mia into bed that night, she whispered, "Dad, I think you are the strongest person I know." Tom smiled, kissed her forehead, and whispered back, "And you are my reason to keep being strong." In that moment, Tom realized that taking the job nobody wanted had been the best decision of his life. It was more than a job. It was a journey of growth, hope, and love. Tom had grown confident at the warehouse. He knew the workers, the routines, and the challenges that often appeared during night shifts. Yet he also knew that life had a way of testing even the strongest people. One evening, as he was preparing for his shift, Ms. Harper approached him with a serious expression. "Tom," she said, "we have a major problem. One of our largest clients has canceled a shipment at the last minute, but they still expect delivery of a new order by tomorrow morning. If we cannot deliver, the warehouse could lose the contract and a lot of money." Tom felt the weight of the situation immediately. The team was already tired from weeks of hard work, and the task seemed nearly impossible. Yet he did not panic. He took a deep breath, squared his shoulders, and called the workers together. "We have a challenge ahead of us," Tom said calmly. "It will be tough, but I know we can do it if we stay organized and help each other. I will be with you every step of the way, and we will finish this together." The team looked at each other, some worried, some doubtful. Ben, who had become Tom's most trusted ally in the warehouse, stepped forward. "Tom, we trust you. Let us, and we will follow." His words gave the team confidence. They nodded and prepared to start immediately. The night began with long hours of organizing the new shipment. Tom assigned tasks carefully, pairing experienced workers with those who were less familiar with the process. He moved among the team, helping when needed, giving advice, and encouraging everyone. Slowly, the team began to work efficiently, motivated by Tom's calm leadership. Midway through the night, another challenge appeared. A forklift broke down while carrying a heavy stack of boxes. Tom quickly assessed the situation. He knew they could not waste time waiting for repairs. He organized a small team to manually move the boxes while ensuring safety. It was hard work, but the team trusted his guidance. By the morning, the boxes were in place, and progress continued. While supervising the work, Tom noticed that some workers were becoming exhausted. He encouraged small breaks and made sure everyone drank water and rested for a few minutes. He realized that caring for the team's well-being was as important as completing the shipment. The workers began to appreciate his attention to both efficiency and kindness. As the night wore on, unexpected complications arose. Some boxes were missing labels, while others were damaged. Tom quickly reorganized the team and personally supervised the repair and labeling. His calm demeanor prevented panic. He worked alongside the team, demonstrating that hard work and careful planning could solve almost any problem. Meanwhile, at home, Mia was waiting anxiously for her father. She worried about the long hours he was putting in, but she also understood that this job was important for their future. She tried to help by tidying the house and leaving little notes of encouragement in his bag. When Tom found the notes during his break, he smiled and felt a renewed sense of energy. Back at the warehouse, the team faced one final challenge. A delivery truck had a flat tire, and there was no replacement vehicle immediately available. Tom thought quickly and coordinated with nearby warehouses and drivers to arrange an alternative truck. The workers were amazed at his problem-solving skills and began to trust him more than ever. By early morning, the team had completed the shipment. Ms. Harper arrived to check the progress and was astonished. "Tom, this is incredible," she said. "You turned a nearly impossible situation into a success. I am proud of you and the team." Tom smiled, feeling proud of the workers as well. He knew that teamwork, trust, and determination had made the difference. That weekend, Tom decided to take Mia on a small outing as a reward for their hard work and patience. They visited a nearby park, played on the swings, and shared ice cream. Mia laughed and ran through the grass, and Tom felt a deep sense of gratitude. Despite the long nights and challenges, he had found balance. He realized that hard work was meaningful when combined with love and care for family. During the following week, Tom noticed opportunities to make the warehouse more efficient. He suggested rearranging the shelves, labeling packages more clearly, and creating a checklist system for shipments. The workers were skeptical at first, but Tom guided them step by step. Soon, mistakes decreased, speed increased, and Ms. Harper praised the improvements. Tom also became a mentor to the workers. He encouraged them to share ideas, recognize each other's strengths, and support one another during tough nights. Slowly, the warehouse team became more than just colleagues. They became a family that relied on trust, teamwork, and mutual respect. Tom felt proud to lead such a group. At home, Mia began to understand the value of hard work and perseverance. She noticed how her father never gave up, even when situations seemed impossible. She started helping more with chores, organizing her schoolwork, and learning responsibility. Tom was happy to see her growing into a thoughtful and disciplined child. One evening, a small emergency struck at the warehouse. A shipment had been mislabeled, and the client called to complain. Tom immediately took responsibility and reassured the client that the issue would be corrected. He stayed late into the night, guiding the team to fix the problem. By morning, the corrected shipment was ready for delivery. The client thanked the warehouse for their professionalism. Tom realized that challenges often brought opportunities to show reliability, leadership, and trust. As the weeks passed, Tom became an integral part of the warehouse. He had faced nearly every type of challenge, from equipment failures to urgent orders, and had always found solutions. The workers respected him, the manager trusted him, and he had gained a sense of pride he had never experienced before. One night, while supervising the team, Ben approached Tom. "You know, I never thought I would enjoy nights like this," he said. "It used to feel impossible, but now, with your leadership, it feels like we can do anything together." Tom smiled. "That is the power of teamwork," he replied. "We support each other, and we grow stronger together." Tom also realized something important about life. Challenges were not obstacles to avoid. They were opportunities to learn, to grow, and to lead. The job nobody wanted had taught him patience, problem-solving, and the importance of caring for others. It had also taught him that determination, kindness, and confidence could change not only his life but the lives of everyone around him. At home, Mia noticed the changes in her father. He seemed happier, more confident, and proud of the work he was doing. She felt proud of him too. Their small home was filled with laughter, hope, and a sense of achievement. Tom often reminded himself that every long night and every challenge was a step toward a better future for both of them. By the end of the month, Tom had become a role model not just for the warehouse team but for Mia as well. She had learned from his example about responsibility, perseverance, and courage. Tom had learned that even difficult jobs could lead to growth, respect, and unexpected happiness. As he tucked Mia into bed one night, she whispered, "Dad, I am proud of you. You always find a way to fix problems and help everyone." Tom smiled and kissed her forehead. "And you, Mia, give me a reason to never give up. We are strong together." He realized that taking the job nobody wanted had led to challenges he could never have imagined, but it had also led to growth, respect, and love that made every struggle worthwhile. Tom had been working at the warehouse for many months now. Each night had brought challenges, but he had grown stronger, more confident, and more capable. The job nobody wanted had become the most important part of his life. It had not only provided for him and Mia but had also given him a sense of purpose and pride he had never known before. One morning, Ms. Harper called Tom into her office. She smiled warmly. "Tom, I have good news. The company has decided to give you a permanent promotion. You will now be the night operations manager. This means more responsibility, but also more opportunities to make a real impact. The workers trust you, the processes are smoother, and your leadership has transformed the warehouse." Tom felt a mixture of surprise, pride, and gratitude. He thought back to the day he first took this job, worried about bills and uncertain about the future. He never imagined it would lead to such an opportunity. He thanked Ms. Harper and promised to continue working hard, helping the team, and making the warehouse better for everyone. As the new manager, Tom began to implement some of his long-term ideas. He organized workshops for the workers, teaching them safety, efficiency, and teamwork. He created incentive programs to reward dedication and hard work. Slowly, the warehouse became not only a place of employment but a community where workers felt valued and motivated. The workers respected Tom deeply. Ben often came to him for advice, Sarah shared ideas for improving organization, and Leo continued to surprise everyone with his creative solutions. Tom had not only earned their trust but had inspired them to do their best. He realized that leadership was about lifting others, not just giving orders. At home, Mia noticed the changes in her father. He came home happy, tired but satisfied. He often shared small stories about the warehouse, about teamwork, and about problem-solving. Mia loved hearing these stories and began to understand that challenges were not something to fear but something to embrace. She also began taking pride in helping at home, organizing her things, and doing small chores. Their bond had grown stronger than ever. One day, Tom learned that the warehouse would be hosting a community event. The company wanted to invite families and neighbors to see the operations and learn about career opportunities. Tom saw this as a chance not only to show pride in his work but also to inspire others. He helped organize the event, ensuring the workers were involved and that the warehouse was welcoming and safe. The day of the event arrived. Families toured the warehouse, learning about logistics, teamwork, and organization. Children watched forklifts move safely, while adults asked questions about jobs and careers. Tom guided the visitors, explaining the processes clearly and enthusiastically. He noticed how proud the workers were to show their skills and contribute to the community. During a break, Mia tugged at Tom's hand. "Dad, I want to show everyone your drawings of the warehouse," she said. She had made small illustrations of different areas, machines, and people at work. Tom smiled and allowed her to share them. The visitors loved her drawings, and the workers appreciated the creativity she had brought to their workplace. Tom felt proud of her, realizing that small gestures of effort and creativity could make a big difference. The warehouse continued to thrive under Tom's leadership. Orders were completed efficiently, mistakes were rare, and the team was motivated and happy. Tom had created an environment where people felt respected, valued, and part of something bigger. He often reminded the workers that success was not just about money but about teamwork, care, and dedication. At home, life had improved significantly. Tom and Mia were no longer struggling to make ends meet. They could afford small treats, extra supplies for school, and improvements to their home. Yet, Tom remained humble, remembering the hard nights and the lessons he had learned. He taught Mia the importance of gratitude, hard work, and helping others whenever possible. One evening, Tom and Mia sat in their garden, watching the sunset. Mia held a small notebook, filled with her drawings of the warehouse, the workers, and the machines. "Dad, I am proud of everything you do," she said softly. Tom hugged her tightly. "And I am proud of you, Mia. You remind me why I work so hard and why I never give up. You are my motivation every day." As the months passed, Tom continued to grow in his role. He discovered new ways to improve efficiency, safety, and teamwork. He encouraged the workers to share their ideas and recognized their contributions publicly. The warehouse had transformed from a place nobody wanted to a place everyone respected. One day, Ms. Harper called a meeting. She smiled at Tom and the team. "Because of your leadership, this warehouse has become a model for others in our company. We are planning to expand and open new locations. Tom, we want you to lead one of the new warehouses when the time comes. You have shown what dedication, intelligence, and care can do." Tom felt a sense of accomplishment that filled him with joy. He had taken a job nobody wanted out of necessity, and it had turned into a life-changing opportunity. He realized that challenges, when faced with courage and determination, could lead to the most rewarding experiences. At home, Tom shared the news with Mia. She jumped up and down with excitement. "Dad, you are amazing," she said. Tom laughed. "No, Mia. You are amazing too. You have grown with me, learned patience, and reminded me why I keep working hard. This is our success, together." That night, Tom looked around the warehouse before leaving for home. The workers were finishing their tasks, laughing, and talking about small improvements they could make. Ben waved at him. Sarah smiled, and Leo gave a thumbs up. Tom felt proud, not just of himself, but of the team he had helped build. He knew that the warehouse was more than a job now. It was a place of growth, respect, and hope. As he arrived home, Mia ran to greet him. They shared a quiet dinner, talked about their day, and then settled in the living room to read together. Tom realized that no matter how hard work was or how many challenges came, he could face them because he had purpose, support, and love. The job nobody wanted had turned into the best decision of Tom's life. It had taught him leadership, patience, and resilience. It had built his confidence, improved his family's life, and created a community of respect and teamwork. Most importantly, it had shown him that determination, courage, and kindness could turn even the hardest challenges into opportunities for success and happiness. Tom knew that the future held more challenges, but he also knew he was ready. With Mia by his side, the warehouse team supporting him, and the lessons he had learned, he felt unstoppable. The job that once seemed undesirable had become the path to a better life, a stronger family, and a brighter future. Tom smiled, hugged Mia, and whispered, "We did it, Mia. Together, we can face anything." Mia smiled back. "Yes, Dad. Together. Tom realized in that moment that sometimes, the hardest decisions were the most rewarding. Taking the job nobody wanted had changed everything. It had not only given him stability and success but had also filled his life with purpose, pride, and love that he would carry forever.